Hi everyone, so I'm super excited because today I have the Natasha DENONA Hyper Face Palette. I'm going to do a pretty much full face with this to show you how I'd use it and what I can really get out of it, and I will use every single thing in the palette so you can see how each formula works. I really love the look of this as soon as I saw this was launching, so I can't wait to get into this. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Hannah, I'm 47, I'm not a professional, just somebody who loves makeup, and I love to share that passion with you here on my channel, show you new products, favourite looks, tips, anything I think you might be interested in. And if that's something that might suit you, I would love it so much if you liked and subscribed below and hit the notification bell, because that really does help me to grow this channel. I'm quite new here, so I'd really appreciate that. Any comments as well, even just saying hello, that really does help me ever so much. Anyway, on to the video. So I am amazed, to be honest, because I'm in the UK and this arrived within 3 days of me ordering it. I don't know how that happened. Was it a private jet to my house? I just don't know. I did pay for the fast delivery. I think it was £10, so I could be wrong on that. It's not a lot when you think about it, when you think how quickly it came, and it's coming from the US. So very impressed with the speed of delivery on this one. And also Natasha always packages her things so brilliantly. They're always bubble wrapped, they're in a box, then bubble wrapped, then in a padded bag. So they've, touch wood, I have never had a broken palette from Natasha, and I pretty much order all of them, so that's something positive to start with. So this cost £60. I had accumulated quite a lot of points, which I tend to do with Natasha. I order everything via her website, and I do accumulate points quite quickly. I think her point system is probably the most generous out of all of the ones I've used. So I only ended up paying £30 for this, so quite pleased with that really. I do actually have a 15% discount code on the Natasha DENONA website for you. It's a one-use only code, I'm afraid. So unless you've got multiple accounts for Natasha, it won't work more than once. But if that's any use to you, I'll just pop the code below for you now, and hopefully you can save a bit of money. So here is the case. It really is a beautiful case. It seems to be quite in trend at the moment to have this sort of pinky shade. I've had a few different new products lately in this sort of shade, and you can see here on the back she has the magnetized options where you can pop them out, which is useful. So if you've got a favorite shade you want to swap, or maybe there's new shades coming that we can put in the future, who knows. And this one is made in Italy, which is always fantastic. So here's a close-up of the palette. It's not looking pristine because I had swatched it all yesterday when it arrived, and I'll just do a quick swatch for you now so you can see how it looks. So these are the 3 bronzing and contour shades. Here's the lightest one. This could be a good contour shade for my skin tone. And here is the medium one. And then here is the darkest one. So there they are. They're extremely soft and buttery. It's this new formula from Natasha. Really beautiful. I must say they just swatched so beautifully yesterday when I tried them. I just couldn't wait to try them out today because they really are swatching like butter. I love them. These are also paraben free, talc free and clean beauty, which is new I think from Natasha. And here are the 2 blush shades, again in this very soft creamy cream to powder sort of formula. They just feel silky smooth. So there are those 2. This one is quite deep. I think if I go easy on this one it might work well for me. I know some people have said that the bronzers, they would like a darker shade, because I'm not sure contouring would be an option if you've got a very dark skin tone. But other than that, I think these shades do pretty much cover everybody. So it's not too bad. I think everybody with different skin tones can get quite a lot out of this palette, in fairness. So 4 of these eyeshadows come in a brand new formula, which is this new Hyper Silk, and this is the first one, and this shade is called Everyday. Natasha has given them names to suggest what you could be using them for. So this is all over the eye it's intended for, as a one and done, as an everyday. Now this second one is not in the new formula, but it is still a very new formula that was in her last palette, I Need a Nude, and this is the wet formula. This gives a sparkling wet effect. It's a nude champagne colour and it's called Dreamy. And this shade is called Statement, another Hyper Silk formula, and this is a medium dark brown. You see how shiny it is. They really are incredibly soft, and just one swipe of that, it's just beautiful. And this one is called Soft, and this is the Hyper Silk again, Rosy Vintage Peach. Very, very pretty. You can see it's got a shine, it's not glittery, just shiny. You can see how these will make good one and dones. And the last one is called Casual. And this again, Hyper Silk, and this is a satin taupe. So Natasha says the best way to apply these eyeshadows is actually with your fingers, because the concept of this palette is actually a no makeup day sort of look. Natasha says that you can bring the glamour by emphasising your natural beauty and not actually having a lot of makeup on your face. So these bring the glamour without having a lot of glam, basically. That's the idea. I have seen quite a few people that don't like this or don't have very nice things to say about this, and for me personally, I just think obviously everyone's completely free to have their own opinion, and it's good that we all have different views on things, but for me I think you need to be a bit realistic about what a face palette can actually provide, because for me, the way I look at them, these are quick makeup day palettes. These are the things that you grab when you don't want to go searching through everything and making your look more complicated. You don't want that high glam look necessarily, you just want a quick look that makes you feel special. And for me, that's exactly why I buy a palette like this. It's for that everyday quick on the go look, or for holidays where you just want something simple you can pack in and you can just rub on your face in 2 seconds, well, a bit more than 2 seconds, but you know what I mean, and be out the door. And that's how I view this, and that's what I'm hoping this will do for me, and that's exactly how I'm going to use this today. I'm going to pretty much follow what Natasha has said, and hopefully I won't use anything else. So all I have on at the moment is foundation, concealer, a little bit of powder under the eyes and a tiny bit of powder on the face. I have put a lip liner and a bit of lip gloss on. I won't do anything else to my lips, and I'm gonna keep it in keeping really with a no makeup sort of vibe. And I'll add mascara at the end, but that's it. I'm going to use this palette for everything. And if that works, and I can minimise the brush use, that might mean that I can pack just these products that I've mentioned now. So foundation, concealer, brushes, mascara, and this. And that would be my holiday pack, or my everyday on the desk quick go look. And if that can happen, that would be a first for me, because no palette's ever not made me reach for something else. So I'd be very interested to see if I can get this to do exactly what I'm hoping. And this sort of hybrid type of makeup actually has skincare infused into it, which I think is worth thinking about when using this palette, in the way it performs and also in the way your skin might enjoy it. So it says here, this is an advanced formula enriched with squalane and berry flux vita, which is derived from raspberry extract, and vita boutique sourced from pomegranate. These are renowned for their deep hydration, natural elasticity enhancement and defense against environmental stresses, and they promote a supple, firm and youthful complexion. So it's going with the sort of theme that was very popular last year of infusing skincare really into makeup. So whether that means longevity would be an issue with this, I'm not sure. I will definitely put an update in my comments below to let you know how well this lasted. So I'm putting this on this morning, and I will do a check-in this evening after I've probably uploaded the video, but I will then add a note and I'll pin it to the very top of the comments so you can basically see how well it lasted and whether I needed to do anything to improve it. So we'll see. Even though I've got a feeling this could easily be used as a day to night palette, so if it did need a bit of a top up later in the day, is that a problem? For me, no, but anyway. Let's see. So the size of the palette does mean you need to be a bit careful in your brush selection. So I've gone through my brushes and I've basically singled out these, and I'm hoping this entire set here is going to be enough without me needing to reach for any other brushes. So I'll explain which ones and why, and hopefully that'll do, because if that's my packing for a holiday, I would be delighted. So here is my BK Beauty 207. This is a brush I use for multiple purposes. It's a bit of a dense brush, absolutely perfect for contouring, for inner corner. I use it for eyeshadow when you're trying to pack colour. I love this brush, very good brush. In fact, BK Beauty in general is one of my top brushes, and I'm going to use this one now just to contour the nose. See if this colour shows up. Obviously when you're contouring you don't want an awful lot of colour, so I think at the moment that's looking probably quite perfect for me. as a contour shade. And one thing I'm noticing straight away is it's just sort of blending straight into the skin. So pretty effortless. There's quite a bit of kickback, so you do need to be careful. I'm going to do the same just under my lip. I need to be a bit careful because I've already put lip oil on. You can see it's bringing just a little bit of contour, a bit of shade there, which helps to deepen the effect of the lips. Maybe deepen's the wrong word, you know what I mean? Make your lips look more full. Yeah, it works nicely for that actually. Very natural little contour shade this on my skin tone, I really like it. And now I'm using this brush from BK Beauty, the 112 brush, and this is a small angled face brush, which I think is perfect for getting into this palette, because obviously the bronzers in this are very, very narrow. So a brush like this, look, just fits perfectly. Obviously quite a lot of face palettes have these smaller ones which are hard to get into, so highly recommend this brush just for that purpose if nothing else. A lot of kickback though, you do need to be careful. I've got quite a bit of powder forming on my desk here from this bronzer. And now I'm just going to sweep this here. This brush is very good for that. It's not a very dense brush, so it's not picking up too much of the product, which I find better for this purpose. It's obviously a very, very light shade. It's just giving me a little bit of light contour, which for my skin tone I think is just right. Yeah, I really like that. Perfect for contour, I really like it. It applies so nicely, it's just so easy, which is exactly what it's promising. I'll put a little bit now around the edge of my forehead. And then under the neck, just bringing it up here a little bit. So yeah, I think that worked very nicely as a contour. It's actually reminded me of something I use quite a lot, which is my Kevyn Aucoin. Is that how you say it? Sorry if I've got that wrong, but yeah, very similar look. This is actually the only powder contour I've got. I've got quite a few creamy ones, but if you compare the shade of this one to the Natasha one, so there, if you compare the two of them together, they're very similar, aren't they? And that's a contour powder I keep on my desk pretty much every day and use it when I don't have the powder shade I need, if I'm not using a cream contour. So having that all in one palette is fantastic. And now I've got the Sonia G Classic Cheek Brush. This is from her Fundamental range, and this one is not too dense. And this is again a perfect size for this palette, I think. Obviously I would rather a wider brush when I'm bronzing, but we're going to try to make do here. So I'm going into the middle shade. It might pick up a tiny bit of the others, but I think predominantly it's going to pick up this middle bronze, which is what I'm hoping for. Just show you the kickback. I don't know if that's coming up on camera, but the kickback is quite bad. Now I'll just run some bronzer in all my bronze areas. One thing I'm noticing straight away is there's zero patchiness. This just goes on like a dream actually. Really, really nicely. It feels buttery soft on the skin, and my skin is just taking it very, very nicely. I don't actually need a lot of this. I think it's given me just the right amount of colour that I need. I think any more would start to be a bit too much. I think probably mixing the two together is my best option. So if I mix the two together on the brush and then just swirl it on the back of my hand, I think that would probably give me the most perfect. Obviously now I have gone in with a second medium one, but for my skin tone I think mixing the two together would be the ultimate perfect shade. And that's something with this that's quite fun really. You can basically create it your way. And this brush is working very well for exactly that purpose. All the brushes I'm using today are linked below for you if you're interested in trying any of these. These are tried and tested, loved brushes by me. It's taken me a very long time to find brushes that I really can rely on. I'm finally starting to feel like I've got the right brush for every job. And this one is definitely working on this palette. You see, I don't feel like I need to use a buffer or anything to clean up the edges. The brush does a good job of that in itself. But the it's just blending in very naturally to my skin, so yeah, I like that. So now onto the blush. Now this shade is very deep, so I'm a little bit concerned about how my skin will tolerate that, so I'm going to go in really lightly. And again, I'm using another Sonia G cheek brush. I don't believe this one is available anymore. I think they've actually sold out from this release, but it's very similar to this one. It's the same sort of brush. You can see very similar size. It's a little bit more dense than this one. And I think you could probably continue using this one for the cheeks and not have this brush, which would help with the packing situation. But then you've got bronzer on it, so you'd need to brush it off. If I wasn't filming, that's what I would do. But anyway, I'm going to use a clean brush for this. So we've only got blush on here. I'm just going to dab in. You can see straight away from a little dab, that's how it looks. So it's not picking up too much, the brush. And that's all I want at the moment. Yeah, that's, you can see for my skin tone, that's why I needed to be careful, because it is, but it's lovely, you know. But yeah, if you go lightly with this, works for fair skin, definitely this shade. It's lovely. It gives a very natural, fresh glow, I think, that straight out of the cold weather sort of vibe. I think I'd actually go back in now with this brush I used for the bronzer, because it did such a good job of buffing the edges out. It's just that bit more fine. This brush is a tiny bit more dense. The blush doesn't have quite as much kickback either as the bronzer, so you don't need to be quite as careful, because the bronzer really does have quite a lot. Now I'm going to go into the lighter pink, and I'm going to use that just above the top of my cheekbone. So a bit like a light, a highlight almost. Which obviously this palette doesn't have a highlighter. Then this light shade above acts as a sort of highlighter, so I might be able to skip out on a highlighter, although I do have a plan for highlight, which I shall attempt at the end. Yeah, that does lighten it, doesn't it, like a highlight? That works, you know, that really does work. And I think probably it would be a bit too light as a blush, even on my skin tone, so the two together would make one nice colour. I can show you what that looks like. So here's the two together. You can see that's a very nice blush actually. So I think that would work nicely, just sweep them together and done. Or do what I did and take the deeper shade and then lighten the top. I really like that. Considering I'm wearing no highlighter, it has given me quite a nice sort of brightening effect, hasn't it? So far so good. I'm really happy with everything I've tried. I like everything a lot. Now I'm going to use my Nikki LaRose N13 brush. This is from BK Beauty. This is a soft fluffy brush, and I'm going to use this to put a little bit of bronzer up here, just to give me a little bit of definition in the eyes before I start the eye look. So I'm sweeping between these two here. Can you see the powder coming up as I'm doing it? Look. I don't know if it'll pick that up, but trust me, that's a lot of powder. Luckily they're talc free, so it's not irritating me. It does say somewhere that these are not for the eyes, so I don't know why it says that. But at the same time, Natasha did say to use it this way, so I'm going with it. So just building it up a tiny bit more. Yeah, these two together make the perfect shade for me for that purpose. I'm using my BK Beauty 204. This is a brush I use every single day for exactly the purpose I'm about to use it for now. Exactly the same bronzer shades. I'm going to just run this underneath so it all just meets up. This brush is perfect for this because it's a dense brush and it picks up plenty of product. It's just the right shape for getting underneath this area. So there, that is how my eye is looking using the two bronzers, the two lighter bronzers mixed together. I don't think I need the deep one, but what I could use the deep one for, I'm not going to today, but what I could use it for is maybe more of an eye line. And now onto these. Now Natasha says these are best applied with your fingers, and I do prefer to apply shimmers with fingers anyway, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. It's supposed to be a one and done, so you choose which one you're looking for. So there's many things you could do here. Like, I think maybe you could go for this one all over as a quick day look, and then in the evening you could introduce this colour underneath and bring up a bit of depth into the corner and have an evening look. So you could go day to night quite easily with this. I am not going to put just one colour on because that means taking everything off and doing it all again, which my eyes don't really enjoy. I'm going to do exactly what I would do anyway. So I'm going to show you how I would prefer to use this, but I would use this as one and done as well for a really quick look, but I do like to mix colours a bit, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start my first look. I'll do 2 looks each side, and I'm going to use this colour here first, and this is called Casual. I'm going to run this across some of my eyelid. Now, one thing I've done today is I haven't powdered because this is a cream to powder formula, and it might just grip onto my eyes a bit better if I haven't. So I've got a little bit of concealer on my eyes. And that goes on so easily. I can see exactly why Natasha says to use your fingers, because look, you can just shape that into the eye so easily. So it'd be quite a dark look on my eyes if I had it all over. If you put this all over and then maybe use the wet one in the inner corner, that would work nicely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with Soft, which is the pink one next to it. These are both in the new Hyper Silk formula. So this is the pink. I just think I love pink and sort of silver shades together. Now I know this isn't silver, it's taupe, but I think it has that sort of effect together. Yeah, they work together definitely. And I also wouldn't like to have pink all over my eyes. It doesn't suit me that much. So I think mixing the pink with the taupe is much nicer. Now I do want the two to blend a bit, so I'm just going to try that with my finger to avoid brushes as much as possible. Yeah, that worked actually. And using my BK204 brush that I used in the beginning with the bronze, I'm going to copy the shades above. So here's the pink going in underneath to match, and then the taupe Casual under here. Now I haven't done anything to tidy this because I just don't think it actually needs it, but just out of habit more than anything, I'm going to go back in with the same fluffy brush I used for the bronze and just go over it just to make sure it's a really neat edge. I will be finishing it with the wet finish shade. I'm going to move on to the other eye next. For this I'm going to use Everyday. I can see why this one would be called Everyday because this is a perfect shade that suits probably everybody and goes with just about every look. So all over the eye, absolutely, that would be the perfect Everyday. And you can see on these they've got a nice shine, but not a glimmery shine. They're very mature skin friendly. They're not particularly highlighting the lines in my eyes. I mean, I can't really avoid them, let's be honest, but it doesn't seem to be. It does seem to be gripping well onto my eyes, so I think it is probably better not to powder your eyes beforehand, because this serves as the powder to hopefully lock in the concealer beneath. Oh, that's a really nice shade, that. This again would work nicely with that pink, I think. I do like mixing pinks, like I did there. But today I'm going to go in with the wet finish. Dreamy, the second one. This is here in the palette. And I'm going to take this on the rest of the lid to meet that. Now I'm not sure if this is the best way to do this, because I think in a way that this one is really good as a topper or an inner corner, and I don't think this one is a great idea for all over the eye. Just maybe the formula itself is okay if you want a very shimmery finish, but I don't think the colour works terribly well. I'm not getting any fallout with anything here. I mean, these just grip nicely because they have that cream to powder sort of effect, all of them. So they're just gripping onto the skin. They feel beautiful on the skin. Extremely easy. I mean, I've just done 2 eye looks in what, 2 minutes. So I use this brush again just to sort of tidy up a little, but I don't think it needs much. I'm back with my 207 brush, which I started with, and I've just brushed off the contour shade that was on it. And this, I told you, I use for multiple purposes. I'm dipping back into Dreamy, and I'm going to put this here, which is something I can't really do with my fingers. The inner corner, this is perfect for the inner corner look. It's a lovely natural sort of inner corner colour, I think. I want to say colour, you know what I mean, providing a sort of shine and a bit of light. And I left this inner corner here because that's exactly what I want to do here as well. Actually, I forgot with the other eye to do underneath. I'm going in with the BK204 again to run under the eye to match above. I'm not going to put the wet one under, I think it's a bit too sparkly to run under the lid for this look. So just finishing these inner corner pops here, and I'm just bringing it up slightly to the bridge of the nose to give a bit of light there, which is something I've been doing since seeing Nikki LaRose suggesting it. I'm also going to run this underneath the eyebrow. Oh, that's so pretty, isn't it? And now this shade here is just too dark for me. If I swept this all over my eyes, it would be way too much. It would work if I built it up here. So when I talked earlier about creating a smoky look, if you had a light shade and you wanted to smoke it up in the evening, or just mix the two together for an all day look, I think it would work. But what I'm going to use this for today is an eyeliner. So I'm using my Charlotte Tilbury eyeliner brush, and I've gone into Statement. Now obviously on different darker skin shades this is going to work really well as an eyeshadow, but for me I think it would just be a bit overwhelming. That is perfect as an eyeliner shade, look. So far this palette's doing everything I wanted it to. Look, perfect. Just bring up a little wing there and then go across here. And when I tell you these are easy to work with, I mean they're super easy to work with. You can't really go wrong. These are just foolproof. I don't know if I'm tempting fate now and I'm going to have a big mistake, but I don't want a big bold wing. We're going for a no makeup day. I don't know how you can call it that when you've got colours on your eyes. But anyway, we're going for an easy, natural sort of look. So I don't want a deep, bold wing. Just want enough to really define the eyelashes a little here. That's it. I think that's fine. That works so well for that. So well, I can almost see me keeping this on my desk to use all the time for exactly this purpose. I do prefer to use shadows as an eyeliner, but this one, because it's that sort of creamy powder, it just blends and glides on so effortlessly. Honestly, I'm super impressed with that. And I'm just wondering if I can pop a tiny bit of Dreamy just into the centre of this eye. I don't want a lot because I don't want to take away from the two different shades. So it's working as a topper, but only in the very centre, just to give it that pop of light. And yeah, does that really nicely, doesn't it? You can see how this would work well all over, but I think for this look here, ignore this one, that's just right, a little pop in the middle, in between the two. And I'll just pop some mascara on and be back to show you the final eye look. So that's my mascara on and that's the final look. I haven't got a lot of mascara on, I don't tend to wear a lot, so that sort of fits with this clean, no makeup type of look. So here is the first eye look, using Everyday and Dreamy together, and using Statement as my liner, and the two lightest bronzers together as my transition contour. Here's this eye. This one here we have the pink, which is called Soft, and here we have Taupe, which is called Casual, both again lined with Statement and the same bronzer. So there's those two looks. And I think you can see from the way I've done this how these would all work as one and done, so you don't have to mix them together. I have done that to show you how they all work, but I would honestly do it this way anyway. I just wouldn't have two different eyes, obviously. But I think these two eye looks I would definitely keep. I really, really, really like this. Now there's just one last thing. What have I not got on my face? I have not reached for any of the products, and that is highlighter. So I got a bit of highlight from the pink, as we said, and probably enough. I'd be quite happy for this, but if it was an evening look and I've just maybe deepened up a bit more with statements, take a bit more in the wing, deepen up a little bit more for a more smoky effect, and I want that evening glam, I might need a bit of highlighter here, and obviously a deeper lipstick, because I've just got a lip oil on at the moment. So I'm going to, I don't know if it's going to be a disaster, but I'm going to try Dreamy, the wet look one. I'm just going to tap this here to see if I can use it as a highlight. Oh, I think I can. I mean, it is glittery. Oh my goodness, I've used more glittery highlighters, so I'm just doing it with my finger because it's that sort of creamy effect, and also I don't want to pick up too much on my brush and then be stuck with way too much. Well, that really does work. Oh, I don't think that's too much. It just catches in the light, a sort of glimmer. I really like it. I think that really works. So this means this palette does everything for me. If they just had a little foundation pouch in the back that served as a concealer, a 2-in-1, then I wouldn't need any of the products. Oh, and mascara. Okay, so we need a little compartment at the back next time, Natasha, with a little tube of foundation / concealer and a little mini mascara. If you could just add those into the back, maybe like a little pop out. You know, like those pencil cases the kids have where you press a button and something pops out. Can we have those added? And then I won't have to have anything. I'm done for the whole look. Oh, that works as a highlighter, I think. And it's not even looking bad on my texture. I don't think it emphasises texture, just like it doesn't on the eyes, because this is really mature skin friendly. I don't know if this could be a disaster to go down the centre of the nose, because it could be a bit much for that. No, actually. No, it's not. I mean, it is a bit glittery, but not in the chunky sense, and not in a sense that I dislike it. I like this. A little bit here, Cupid's bow. Can I try that? Yeah. It works. I think it does anyway. What do you think? I can't tell you how chuffed I am about this, because I've got my favourite current face palette is the Nudegasm from Charlotte Tilbury, and it still is, I adore it. But obviously with that it doesn't have eyes, anything I can use on the eyes. I can use it on the eyes, it does work as that, but not in the way this does, not where I can really get this sort of eye look. So this, it's just got more possibilities than something like Nudegasm. Obviously Charlotte Tilbury and other brands do full face palettes with eyeshadows, but I've never gotten that well with them. They're okay, but I've never thought, oh that's it, I could go on holiday with this, or you could clear my makeup desk and just stick that there and I'm done. That's never happened. This one is the first one I've ever tried where I hoped it would happen, and it absolutely has, because this will do everything for me, as you've just seen, everything. I'm over the moon with it. I really am. The formulas are beautiful. They're just so very easy. You can have a look together in a flash. You can do a quick look. You can glam it up a bit. You can have that sort of one shade and then deepen up for the evening. You can add this across the cheeks if you want to go for this glimmery shimmer. I just think the possibilities here are quite big. You know, you can do a lot. And I do think this will suit most skin shades. I think, you know, you could have a very, if you're darker skin tone, then you can be using the shades that I use all over as the shades to have a pop of light, and, you know, just switch it the reverse of the way I've done it. So I think there's so many possibilities. You can layer these, you can mix these. Again, you can do the same with the contour, and maybe one deeper shade in the contour would be better for darker skin tones. Maybe that's slightly missing. But I don't know. if you've tried it and you have a darker skin tone, maybe it works brilliantly for you. I'd love to hear from you if you have. But on the whole, I think everybody will get a lot out of this, a lot, and you will not have to dip into hardly anything else in your makeup collection, if anything at all, because I am not exaggerating or playing it up here. I'm telling you now, I do not need anything else. And when I go off camera and I want to do a quick look or go away on holiday for, have something quick in my bag, this will absolutely keep me happy, because these shades make me feel beautiful. They just give me that extra bit of glamour. They make me, I don't know, these shades make me feel happy. They do. I love it. I really do. It's the best face palette I've ever bought. It's my buy of the year so far. Possibly my buy of the year in the last 2 years. I don't know if I'm going mad now, but honestly, I love it. So there we go. I love it. That's my recommendation is, do not even consider thinking about this. Run right now and grab it. It's wicked. I love it. Sorry, I shouldn't say wicked, should I? I sound like I'm 15. Anyway, I love it. It's brilliant. And I do think this is really good value. £60 to do everything. When I think how many products that I've bought recently for £60 just did one job, and we've got this to do everything, and the packaging is beautiful. Just, it's worth it. I really think it's worth it. Obviously use my discount code if that helps you, because it will give you that 15% off. But with or without that, I still think it's worth it. So there we have it. That's the end of my review, and as you can tell, I'm not going to say anything negative. I can't. It's brilliant, and I've thoroughly enjoyed this. It's my favourite review I've done in a long time, and I'm super happy with it. I'd love to know, have you picked it up, or will you pick it up? What are your thoughts on this? Are you interested in it? Has this review made you think differently about it in any way? I'd love to hear from you. I love talking with all of you in the comments below. It's something I enjoy more than ever, so I'd love to hear. And anyway, that's about it from me. And if you're new here, I would love it if you subscribe below. It really, really does help my channel ever so much. And if you're already subscribed and you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. And I hope to see all of you again for my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.